Hey guys, it's Paul again. I just want to take a couple of minutes to give you a quick walkthrough of this MMLF training template that I've created. I'm excited about this thing just because really when you see what's in there, you're going to say like, wow, nothing is missing. This has got it all. I'm just going to give you a quick walkthrough and show you the different parts of it and, just a quick example, okay? When we open this thing up, the first thing we're looking at is this Start Here tab, okay? We make it very, very easy for you to figure out exactly where you're supposed to be. So no doubt, no question, whenever you open it up, where do you want to start? You want to start here. And you see right here, there's a little introduction, and then it goes through contents telling you every single other tab in this template. You've got your 1RM, what is that? That's your 1 rep maximum. You've got your ramp up. If you've been riding the couch for a little while or you've never been to the gym in your life, you're probably not ready to jump right in and start a full-on training regimen. So ramp up is going to basically help you work on your form, help you figure out what your actual strength is, what your 1 rep maximums are, how much you can lift. And that's something you're going to need to know before you actually try to do a real training regimen. And it's going to give you some time to break your muscles in without having 2 weeks worth of soreness and injuring yourself in the process. So it's going to break you in and get you ready to actually train. We've got a whole tab on nutrition, and that's something that it doesn't matter how much you're training and how well you're training. If you're not eating right, you're not going to get the results you want. You might get some results, but it's not probably going to be optimal. It's not going to be as efficient or as effective as what you really want. There's a setup tab in here, which is where you're going to configure exactly what kind of training you want to do. A training tab is going to tell you exactly how to train. It's going to give you a lot of useful guidance and tips to get the most out of your training. Recomposition is where we're going to talk about how to build muscle and burn fat at the same time. Template, that's where you're actually going to get your workout schedule. And then I just put this note in here for modding, which this whole template is not it's not protected, it's not locked down, it's not a bunch of proprietary secrets that I'm not willing to share with the world. On the contrary, everything's wide open. If you try to edit something that you're not supposed to, it's going to pop up a warning just so you don't accidentally mess anything up for yourself. But other than that warning, you can click right through it and you can change anything you want to in here. So if you're competent in spreadsheets and Excel and all that stuff and you want to get in here and add macros and do your own thing, you're more than welcome to. I'm not even trying to stop you. Looking in here into the measurement tab, if you're training, you have to be measuring. If you don't know what your results are from your training, then you have no feedback mechanism. You're training blind. And something in management we say is if you can't see it, you're not controlling it. You need visibility. So in measurement, we're going to talk about right here measuring your body weight, measuring your body fat, assuming you either have a skin fold caliper or a bioimpedance scale at the house. If you don't have one, the prices on those are ridiculously low. You can get a great one from Withings or Garmin that'll cost you maybe $100, $120. And even a cheap one from like Show Me will get the job done with plenty enough accuracy. And you can get one of those for like $20, $30, okay? So there are plenty of options, and this is something that I insist you have to have in your house. If you're not measuring your body weight and your body fat percentage every single day, but you're trying to transform your body, you're not going to have an easy time of it, and your results are not going to be great. You're going to waste a lot of time, okay? But here we're going to record all of that, And also once a week, we're going to pull out the tape measure and we're going to take measurements of the body. Again, if you want to transform yourself, you have to know that you're getting results, and you have to know that they're the results you want. If you can't measure them, you can't see them. You can look in the mirror, but your changes in your body are so gradual that you cannot perceive that visually. At least most of us can't. So that's something that is just, if you're committed to this, if you're really trying to get into a different shape, these are things you have to do. And right over here on the right, you see this partition. That's going to show you how efficiently you're either cutting or building. If you're building, you want to obviously be adding muscle to your body, not fat. Well, that percentage is going to come out here. Likewise, if you're trying to cut, you want to lose fat. You don't want to lose muscle. And again, your efficiency is going to be right there. If you're in recomposition and you're actually going up in muscle and down in fat at the same time, then this is going to tell you the total weight of both your fat mass and your muscle mass that's gone and changed during the last week, and it's going to combine those two and give you a magnitude. So if you've only lost a 1/4 pound of fat and you only gained a 1/4 pound of muscle, it's going to tell you, good news, you're recompositioning. Bad news, you're only getting about a 1/2 pound of results. So maybe you could dial it up a bit, and the template will tell you how to do that. Just to give you an idea over here, this is what it looks like once you've got everything populated and you're filling everything in daily. This is just some example data which is already in there, so that anyone using this won't get lost, won't be confused about what the inputs should look like and what format anything should be in. Again, it's all right there, and it's idiot proof. Trust me, I know, I've tested it on myself. Next tab over here, we've got this template tab, and once we've already got everything in there, here's where we're going to see our workout. We'll come back to this once we've got some numbers in there so that we can look at it. But you can see right now it's configured for a 3-day cut workout. There's 3 days of lifting on there with optional HIIT sessions in between those, just to get some extra calorie burn without risking our muscle. And depending on which regimen you're using, you'll even get little warnings down here that give you extra really important stuff you need to focus on when you're doing this regimen. 1RM, that's where we either input or calculate our 1 rep maximums. So if we come over here to the sample data, you see there's 2 ways to figure out how strong we are. If I already know, I can do an overhead press of 100 pounds, or maybe that's 100 kilos. Units really don't matter here. But I put in the number 100, and there we go, right there on the right, it says your 1 rep max is 100. But, if I'm new at this and I'm just beginning, I probably don't want to put a whole bunch of weight on a barbell and push it as hard as I can. I might drop it, I might injure myself, I might not have the best form yet, so bad things can happen when you're trying to lift super heavy weights that you're not conditioned for. So I can use a lighter weight, and I can put something on the bar that I can certainly manage at least 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. And then when I come in here and I input, on my bench press, I lifted 160 and I did it 10 times before I couldn't do it anymore. If I put that in here, it'll tell me, it'll calculate and say, well, based on that, you should be able to lift 210 one time. Okay, so it's pretty smart. It can figure that out for me, and that's good, because whenever we're training, we don't want to be stopping to try to screw around and, let me see how much I can lift. I could have probably lifted more, but I'm sore today. So, you don't want to interrupt your training and risk injuring yourself by trying to test your 1 rep max all the time. So when you're training, a lot of the times we're going to be lifting, for as many repetitions as possible. Well, whenever we set a new record and whenever we, push that weight more than we've pushed it before, we can come right back in here and, update that. And whenever we change that from 160 10 times to, let's say, 170 10 times or 160 15 times, then it's going to go and update our 1 rep max, and that's going to change our numbers in all of our future workouts. So now all of a sudden our workouts are going to get more challenging because we've grown in strength. And if we don't keep raising the bar, our bodies won't keep adapting. Okay? So that's something that's built in here, and it's always exciting to update and see what your new 1 rep max is. Whether you're trying to be big and muscly or whether you're trying to be, Popeye and strong, it doesn't matter. Whenever you know that you've gotten better and you've improved, it feels fantastic. So let's keep going. And just for fun, I'm going to go ahead and put some information in here so that we can get something showing up on our template. So I'm not really even putting realistic numbers in here. I'm just putting something so that we get a result out when we go to look at our template again. But for now, let's go to ramp up. And again, really what this is for is if you are in an unconditioned state, meaning either you've never trained or you've taken off for the last few months or more and you haven't been lifting, this is going to get you back in the groove. You see, we're doing 2 sets of 15 reps, and we're doing these nice and slow to build our stability. When we work on our stability first, that greatly reduces our probabilities of suffering any kind of injury when we get into our real routine. So we want to start off with a little bit of stability work, and then we're going to ramp up a little bit. And you see this is, it says week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. But when you read this, you're going to see that it's not just a 4-week thing. Some people will skip some of these weeks, and some people will actually take extra time in some of these steps because it explains through here when you should progress and when you should keep going. I take all the guesswork out of all of this for you. The goal is never to rush you through. The goal is always to do as little as possible and still cause the body to adapt and change. I don't want to have to do 20 sets on my chest the next time I work out. I would rather only do 1 set if it's possible. But if I only do 1 set, it doesn't even matter what set I do. My chest is not going to be challenged, so it's not going to try to grow or adapt or get stronger. So I might have to do 3 or 4 sets of real work every week in order to get my chest to respond the way I want it to. And that's really what this is all about. It's not about doing the most possible. It's about doing the least possible and forcing your body to adapt. Okay? So once we get done with ramp up, we come over here to set up, and this is where we pick from 11 different regimens that are already built in here. You've got 2 cut regimens for people who want to trim fat. We've got 2 strength regimens for people who really don't care about their aesthetics. They just want to get stronger. We've got not 2, but 6 different build routines for people who are trying to pack on muscle. And that's not because I'm catering to the muscle heads out there. The real reason is that the body, as you train this way, it becomes more and more resistive to that kind of training. So there really are different levels of adaptability that you have to cater to. Otherwise, the same routine will not keep working forever. So for people that are at what would be called beginner, intermediate, or advanced levels of bodybuilding, I've got you covered wherever you're at. And then it's not going to give you optimal strength, nor is it going to give you optimal growth. But for people who aren't in a hurry to get either one of those, but they know they want both, and they're happy to do the work and work on both at the same time, I've got a hybrid workout in there for you to get stronger and bigger at the same time. It's awesome. Skipping over from there, we go into nutrition. And in nutrition is where we really put in our body metrics. So I'm going to just, fill this out for fun. I'm going to tell it I'm 5'10", and I'm going to put in my weight. Let's come down here and call that 160. I am a male, and don't tell anybody, but I am 46 years old. And I wouldn't say I'm not very physically active. On the contrary, I would say that I exercise between 4 to 6 hours a week. It tells me what my calorie consumption is, how much energy I burn in a day. It's going to come through here and tell me exactly how many calories I should be eating based on what regimen I'm actually doing for my training. It's going to tell me what my protein requirements are, because even if I'm not trying to build muscle, if I'm cutting, I certainly want to protect my muscle so that it doesn't get consumed. Well, I need to eat a certain amount of protein to replenish the muscle that's getting damaged from what little bit of training I'm doing. And if I want to build muscle, I certainly need to go heavier on the protein. Rather than just dumping protein down me all day long and hoping that does the job, this is going to tell me exactly what I need. I can exceed what this tells me, but I'm not going to get any benefit from it anyway. So it's okay to eat more than that, but it's also, just kind of icing on the cake at that point, because I'm really not doing anything that's going to change my body further. But without going into all the details, it gives you all kinds of guidelines about when to eat, how much to eat, how to split your calories up, how to avoid getting hungry if you're cutting. It's got it all in here. Recompositioning, we've already talked about that a little bit. It's about how to get into that zone where you're simultaneously building muscle and cutting fat. Aside from that, it also explains partitioning, how it's possible that when fat and muscle are both moving in the same direction, either we're adding both or we're subtracting both, which is usually what happens. How important it is to measure that efficiency and to track it to make sure that, for all of my dieting that I'm doing because I want to lose weight, I don't want to be losing muscle weight. That's not going to make me healthier. That's not going to make me look better. It's just going to make me what's called skinny fat. And likewise, I want to build up and I want to bulk up, so I'm drinking all these weight gainer shakes and, I'm eating, 5,000 calories a day because, that's what my bodybuilding heroes are doing. And I can see myself getting bigger and I can feel myself getting stronger, and I say that's great. But when I look at my partitioning and realize only 20% of what I'm adding to my body is actually muscle, hey, I am not doing a good job with my programming here, okay? I am ruining my body. I'm not getting bigger and stronger. I'm just getting fatter, and it's going to be harder for me to buy clothes. So, this shows you how to track all that. It explains it, and again, it even gives you the strategies how to improve your partitioning or how to get into recomposition mode. And last but not least, here's all of the training guidance that you could want. It starts off with bad ideas. Don't do these things when you're training. Then it goes into guidance. These are good ideas. I want you to please do these things while you're training. And then lastly, substitutions. I'm going to tell you what exercises I want you to do, but there are going to be times that you say, well, I don't know. I think I'd rather do something else. Well, this is going to tell you for each of those 6 core exercises, what are your viable alternatives? What are the trade-offs? and what are the valid reasons for wanting to do something else. And it's going to walk you through every bit of that. So, when it comes to what to do, when to do it, how to do it, you look at your template, and right here, now that I've populated the template with my information, now it's telling me Sunday, I want you to deadlift. I want you to do 6 or more deadlifts of 115 pounds. Then after that, I want you to do exactly 6 of 110. And you see I've got some, notations on here like 10 or more by previous, and 10 or more, or 10 by previous minus 5%. And I'm looking like, what the hell is that, and why is that there, and why isn't it giving me an exact weight? And when I look right here below, it explains what every single one of these notations is, what I should be doing, why it's displaying the way that it is. I'm telling you, this template does all the thinking for you. It takes all the guesswork out of your nutrition and out of your training. If you want results, and who doesn't? If you're investing the time and money and energy required to go to a gym, or to buy a gym for your home, or to eat a certain way, of course you want results. Absolutely you want to improve. And I built this for you. I don't want you wasting time. I don't want you changing your goal and changing your program every week, every time you hear about something new and you read another interview from some fitness influencer and, oh, well, they're doing that, I need to do that too. You're wasting your time. I want you on one program until you get to your goal, and I want you consistently measuring, monitoring, seeing yourself advance on a daily and weekly basis, and I want you to get there sooner rather than later, injury-free with a smile on your face. So that's it. That's what's inside my template. I really hope you like it. I hope at this point you can see the value of this thing, because really, I think I thought of everything. It's all in there. And if you start using it, it's impossible. If you're following these guidelines, it's impossible that you don't get the results you want. So I'm really excited about this, and I can't wait when you start using it and you start getting the results. Please, send me a message, drop me an email and say, hey, Paul, I'm using it. These are the results I'm getting. This is what I'm doing. I have a question, whatever. I love hearing from you. So reach out anytime, and hey, I'll see you at the gym.